So, Gwen Ashcom, University Safety Committee, Smoke and Tobacco Policy Subcommittee. Are any of these phrases familiar to anyone? Now, Gwen Ashcom is the chairman of the Smoke and Tobacco Policy Committee, which is one of the subcommittees for the University Safety Committee, which handles most of the problems on PSU and student affairs. Basically, smoking affects everybody on campus, and so this would be why it would be one of the student affairs problems that they look into. Currently, the current situation on campus is that they're looking into basically taping out areas that are too close to the doorway for smokers. Now I'm going to go into why this affects smokers and non-smokers alike, and what we can do about it in order to get in a better change. Now, the current situation, places around campus, there are ashtrays that are near smoking doorways and air intakes. And what I propose is that we actually contact the Smoking and Tobacco Policy Subcommittee and get our ideas heard, or at least my idea. Now, over the last year, in the minutes for the University Safety Committee, there has really been no mention of possibly moving these away from the doorways. And so what we would need to do is contact Gwen Ashcom about this by writing a simple email, taking 5 minutes out of your day, and just contacting her and letting her know that, you know, maybe taping off areas around doorways isn't the most effective way to do it. Maybe putting in more smoking covered areas away from doorways. And for smokers out there, there was a way for us to get our input heard to the smoking subcommittee, but that survey was due on the 27th of last month. Yeah. Now, if any of you have read Vanguard recently, or actually go ahead and look at Spotlight, which is the student affairs newsletter that's out there. Have any of you heard that either? No. It wasn't very well publicized. So this survey was located online, but the date has passed. We can go to the safety committee through vis-a-vis Gwen Ashcom and attend the meeting, which is a monthly meeting that they can actually go ahead and discuss this topic. Now, we can talk about moving these ashtrays away from the doorways, as well as the smoking covered areas and how there's only really one in centralized campus. Now, for the non-smokers, you can also go ahead and give your complaints to Gwen Ashcom directly at this email address. And let your voice be heard. Now, there really hasn't been that much student input on this aside from people that are directly involved in it, just because it isn't very well publicized. So you can go ahead and email Gwen, talk to the committee, and furthermore, get your voice heard.
Questions or comments? Okay, well, I have a question. Well, actually, I have a comment. I think that you got pretty informative here. I think that you should have upped the ante a bit on the persuasion. If I were to do this speech, what I would do was perhaps use the motivated sequence as my organizational pattern and get up there and say, okay, like, here is this problem. So you don't like smoking, or you don't want to get kicked off campus. Well, what do you know? There's this survey that was floating around that no one heard about, that didn't get circulated, that isn't getting student input, and I don't care whether you're a smoker or non-smoker, make your voice heard. And really, really emphasize the power of having your voice heard. And, somehow in there explaining the fact that the things are not, but just really hammer home on it. I think you got maybe apprehensive about this and didn't realize that you could persuade the class in both directions, regardless of whether you're a smoker or whether you want smokers off campus or whether you just want them away from the doorways. You could have really connected with everybody here, regardless of how they felt, and just powered home with that, get your voice heard, this is America, this is democracy. You don't want to be like the people in South Carolina that have the president saying, you have rights, just not on our campus. So just really emphasizing that universal human right of having your voice heard with this, I think would have been powerful. Are you sick? Okay. You seem like you don't quite have the dynamism you normally have.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I started work